Hello, Blazers. Welcome to episode 169 of UAB Green and Told, originally released on Monday, February 9th, 2026. This podcast gives us a chance to share the voices of the UAB community. Looking for past episodes of the campus's most downloaded podcast? Visit alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold or find us on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. Leave a review to help more alums tune in. I'm Greg Berry, a UAB alum and Director of Communications in the Office of Alumni Affairs. Some stories catch fire fast. As for this one, well, it almost fizzled before it began. Long before they ever walked on campus, though, Seth and Kristie were already winding toward the heart of becoming a Blazer. Their worlds were miles apart, yet the same fire glowed quietly in both of them. But as we'll learn, it's a story that's raw, messy, and full of surprises.
She was like...
I was just oblivious.
And then she completely panicked. I was like, I thought I made this pretty obvious the whole time. And I'm completely oblivious. And then she said, bye, friend.
Plus, we'll talk timing, the kind that can make or break a proposal plan. Because when you draw a boundary and raise expectations, things can get interesting.
Kristie here made it very clear that I could not propose to her at any sporting event. But then she expected it anytime I went out.
And we'll learn how it all comes together. No proposal story is complete without a little panic, a little suspense, and a whole lot of people showing up.
I remember thinking, oh crap, all these people are coming. How are I going to tell her like that? It's just nothing's going on.
Some stories don't just meet in the middle. They blaze their way there from completely different parts of Alabama. From Sylacauga, Seth Shierling grew up with the rhythm of UAB never too far from home. In Phoenix City, Kristie Lloyd was building her own spark, fueled by a certainty that nursing was exactly where she belonged. Neither could have guessed that their separate journeys would one day merge under the glow of the green and gold. But that's the thing about UAB. Its pull is strong, and its fire finds you when the moment is right.
I remember laying on an air mattress in the living room and watching UAB beat LSU. Blazer Village over at Legion Field, I always remember that since I was a little kid. It's probably the best part of coming to UAB games. Like, oh, we get to go to Blazer Village, and we go over there and play for 2 or 3 hours before the game.
When you got to campus, was it kind of a foregone conclusion that you wanted to be a friend of Blaze?
No, not at all. So I got to campus and I was like, I'm just going to be a student. That did not work. Grades were awful. You're not academically inclined. You've always done what you wanted. All of a sudden you get up here. You better find something to fix it. So I joined the lacrosse team. I became the president of that, ran that for a little bit, had a good time. I guess the Blaze thing came when football got canceled. I went to all the home football games. I worked at Snoozy's at the time. That was my first on-campus job. My first season working at Snoozy's was Clark's first year. So I remember, this is going to be fun. We had a really good team. Everything was going great. And they canceled football. And then I was just kind of, once again, wobbling, like 2-2, 2-5, like right on the edge. And then I got an email one day. I was in Trio Support Services. They're a really cool organization on campus that helps first-generation college students and other underprivileged students who are trying to get a college degree. And there was a friend of Blaze in that organization. And I just remember I was in tutoring and I got an email one day. They sent it to everybody in Trio. If you'll be a friend of Blaze, come try out. So I was like, you know what? This is cool. Went to try out, had an amazing tryout. But the coach was like, you got to have a 2.5 GPA. I'll check your GPAs here in about a week or two. And I remember I had a D in a class and I had an F the semester before in the class. And we only got three replacements. I was like, you know what? This is worth it. So I replaced an F with a D to get a 2.5. And I joined the team. And I was on it the first year without football. But I used and that's the only class I ever replaced here. But my GPA went from a 2.2 to I graduated with a 3.0.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
All because of Blaze and being involved with that.
Mm-hmm. My coach at the time was Ryan Martin. She was really special. She provided structure, but academics were very important. So I attribute a lot of that to her and my friends on the team at the time.
A lot of people look at Blaze and just go, there he is. I mean, we've got the greatest mascot on the face of the planet. I'm going to say that right now. I really, really love Blaze. But you have to learn some intricacies being a friend of Blaze? It's not just a matter of getting out and walking around.
It's not. So the best way to really explain it, there's this thing called mascot camp. So Blaze competes in UCA, which is Nationals for Cheer, Spirit, and Dance. Every summer, we went to mascot camp. Well, we had about 2 weeks to practice before we went over there. And then we went over there, the instructors talking, and then they looked at everybody, and it's like, also, and then they just said, also, I don't want to hear anybody complain about movement because your suits are big and they hide your movement. But Blaze over here has the hardest job of all, making sure he's always moving because he's so big, it'll swallow your little movement. So it's the walk, the mannerisms. Blaze is his own person. His own dragon, I should say. But it takes about a year to get comfortable and everything just flow naturally.
Kristie, do you remember the first time you saw him as a friend of Blaze?
I don't think so.
So, funny story. She doesn't remember, and I don't remember either, but we have a picture. Have a picture. It was the football spring game, the year at the soccer field, and they had all the teams out. And they all and some of the teams took pictures with us. And I seen the picture a few years ago. And I was like, holy crap.
That's
like,
me.
I'm in that picture with her. So we didn't really know the first time she's seen me, but that's the first time she's seen me as a friend of Blaze.
How'd you guys meet?
Snoozies.
We met at Snoozy's College Bookstore. We both worked there.
Okay. And Kristie, what was your first impression of the friend?
I feel like I gravitated towards him just because I don't really know why. I guess it was just meant to be. Like, we just clicked and like we could talk about anything, really. Like, we became, I feel like, best of friends. I started working there in like May. I can't remember the year. I think 2017. Yeah, 2017. And Snoozy's closed in December. So we didn't work long together. So then whenever they announced Snoozy's closed, he asked me out and I was like, hey, do you want to go to dinner? In my head, I was like, yeah, let's go to dinner. Like, I'm very tore up about Snoozy's closing too. Like, I love all the employees there. Like, I'm going to miss Brad so much. He was one of the managers there. It was not to talk about Snoozy's closing. It was a date.
When did you realize it was the first date?
So we went to Target because like we needed time to kill after dinner. And he tried to hold my hand. I was like, oh my God.
I didn't try to hold your hand. Our hands just brushed and you panicked.
He tried to hold my hand. But then he dropped me back off at my apartment. And I was like, okay, well, it was nice hanging out with you. I'll see you later. Bye, pal, friend, bud, friend.
Yeah.
And then I guess I slept on it and we've been together ever since.
Seth, what was it about Kristie that you felt that you had to take her out on that day?
I don't. When she first got the job, it was just easy to talk to her. We had fun. I looked forward to every day she came into work. It's just somebody fun to work with. I'd always try to find ways to work with her. And it's kind of like, we kind of started Snapchatting probably a couple months before. Somebody fun to talk to, hang out with. And we were already kind of talking. I thought, apparently I didn't know. Before Snoozy's closed down. And to preface this date, I picked her up. I opened the door for her. I held the front door open at Applebee's.
Because he opened the door.
I waited till she sat down, then I sat down, held the door for her everywhere, paid.
I did offer.
And she was like...
I was just oblivious.
And then she completely panicked. I was like, I thought I made this pretty obvious the whole time. And I'm completely oblivious. And then she said, bye, friend, pal. I was like, I don't understand what I did wrong. I was like, I thought it went well, but apparently not. Oh, I bought her a candle, too. From Target.
When did you know that you had recovered enough to ask her out for a second date?
She actually texted me.
Yep.
She texted me. She's like, hey, I'm sorry. Can we try this again? I was like, yeah, sure.
Now that I know what's going on.
Kristie, you didn't know he was Blaze initially when you first started working together. When you found out he was a friend of the big guy, a friend of Blaze, what did you think?
I can't really remember what I thought. Thinking back at it now, I feel like it's obviously really cool, especially since I've already interacted with Blaze a handful of times just at like different events from being on the rifle team. But then after getting to know him and watching Blaze and how he interacts with people and just his personality, I really felt like it was him. Also, like I feel like Blaze is Seth and Seth is Blaze. Like they're so intertwined within each other. And even now, just with him being a coach and even in the interim of him just being an old friend of Blaze, I feel like his personality still shines through. They're just big old kids, Blaze and Seth. So I guess that's why.
Is he as goofy as he is as a friend of Blaze in real life?
He can be, yes. He's also serious at times.
Probably more goofy, though.
Probably.
Do you have to be goofy to be a friend, Seth? You don't. So I was Blaze for 5 years. Started in 15, ended in 4.5 to 5 years, and we've gone through so many personalities. I've seen serious people, I've seen goofy people, I've seen quiet people, and they've come out and just be the best Blaze ever.
I feel like it's whenever they meet Blaze, they just become Blaze also. Like whenever they're away from Blaze, they're still them.
Yeah,
but then like Blaze brings it out in them, kind of.
Like when I said earlier, after a year, it just comes from natural. Like the whole first year, you're like thinking about it the whole time, so games are really hard. But after a year, like it just becomes so natural that you don't even think about it, and then like all of a sudden you're skipping down the sidewalk like Blaze, even if you're not.
And Seth still does that. You'll see him occasionally, like Blaze swings his arms a certain way whenever he walks. He still does that sometimes whenever he walks down the sidewalk or at home. It's very funny.
You just can't get it out of the system.
It's so natural at this point. When I actually do it on the side professionally now, mascotting today, and I have to be really careful when I'm other characters to not bitch be Blaze. Like sometimes somebody look at you and you're like, "You're a lemon. Why is your arm swinging? Why are you skipping?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
All right, let's get back to dating. When did you know each other was the one?
I don't really feel like there was a point. Like how I said earlier, just like working with each other at Snoozies, and like I just gravitated towards him, and then like friendship just happened, and then it obviously transformed into a relationship.
Everything just kind of worked. Like it was never a moment of, I don't know if she's the one.
It just always, I guess obviously in the very beginning it didn't feel that way because it was new. But like I didn't feel like anything ever changed. Like I just woke up one day and I was like, I love him. But I don't like, whenever I woke up one day, I was like, I don't know when I didn't love him.
When you're dating Kristie, did you look at him at games, whether it was football or basketball, and go, Blaze is mine?
Not really, no. So Blaze was like my sport. Whenever I went to basketball games and like football games, like I would just watch him and kind of like see what funny things he's doing, or like what costumes he's doing during this part of the game, or like is he messing with the band, the cheerleaders, the student section, things like that.
So I didn't realize beyond Blaze, the lacrosse tie, and then Kristie rifle. I know we had talked, Seth, a little bit about that a while back. Let's start with lacrosse. What drew you to lacrosse? Because that's not a traditional sport that I'm sure Sylacauga had when you were growing up.
We did not. So I was in a kinesiology class. It was a workout class, and we had to burn so many carbs a day. And the club team here was throwing up flyers, trying to get started. So when you're trying to start a club team, you don't need players who've played a sport before. You just need players to field a team. So I joined in about a year. And first year, we played 2 games. I was more of a member. And then our president at the time left to go to another university. And I took over as president. I ran the program here for a couple of years, and we went from 2 games, losing 21-0 and 11-0, which in lacrosse is really bad, to We had a year we joined the national conference. It's called the NCLL. It's a club conference. We were in a conference called the Deep South in that conference. Our first year in the conference, we either got killed or we won. We went 4-5 on the season. And then the next year we went undefeated and made it to nationals, and we were ranked 17th in the country, and we thought we were hot stuff. But the host team was Louisville, and it's full of a bunch of Midwestern kids. And we quickly realized undefeated doesn't mean you're good. We went up there and we got beat 23-0. I remember I was the face-off guy. I walk out for the opening face-off. Before I knew it, he had the ball and was behind me, juked through our players and dunked it like in our goalie, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those games. But I did that for a few years. Enjoyed it. Never been so sore in my life, but it was real fun.
What was more fun? Playing with Blaze?
Blaze.
Yep. No question.
No question. Lacrosse is club, and it's a great time. It's varsity-like, but Blaze is part of the athletic department. There's way more structure. There's more sense of it's a job in the better sense of the word. Just like any student athlete, there's a sense of it being a job, and it was more fun, more rewarding in some senses. I'm not saying lacrosse wasn't rewarding, but when you go to apply for grad school with a 3.0 GPA and about 9 withdrawals on your record, it really helps when your whole letter is about Blaze. So I attribute that would get me into grad school.
Kristie, did you hunt growing up ever?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Grew up hunting and just shooting random guns at like ranges with my dad.
I'm assuming that range shooting at the range, is a little different than competitive rifle?
Concepts-wise, is kind of similar because obviously gun safety, things like that, but actually doing competitive rifle is quite different. You have to have a specialized gun, you hold the gun differently, you have to wear a suit, and you're shooting at a target that's the size of a quarter from like, I think it's 100 meters. I can't remember how far anymore.
From a great distance, you're trying to get the center of a target that's a quarter size. At what point in your career were you able to do that?
Definitely not at first. I did not even shoot the paper at first. But I would say we had practice. I believe it was like 4 times a week for like 3 to 4 hours. I would say it took me probably about 2 to 3 months to finally get a 10. And you range on, like, there's different circles within the quarter to get a 10. So the 10 just means it's really close to that bullet point. So I feel like that's not very long for someone that's never done that kind of shooting before. But I did 4 years of it. I was a part of the 2019 championship for SoCon. And by the time I ended my career, I would hit 9s or 10s pretty consistently.
So Seth, at what point during the relationship did you sit back and go, you know what, now's the time? I'm going to get a ring and I'm going to ask her to marry me.
So I remember this very vividly. We were really good friends with Jamie and Paige Thrasher.
They were on the cheer team.
They were on the cheer team. Well, Jamie proposed to Paige at a basketball game. I thought, oh, that's cool. But Kristie here made it very clear that I could not propose to her at any sporting event. But then she expected it anytime we went out. Like, we went to the pumpkin patch like 3 months before we even got engaged. And she went and got her nails done. I was like, oh God, here we go. And we left the pumpkin patch. She was just sad. Like, you didn't, I thought I was going to propose to. I was like, I can't propose to you every time you expect it. So I just remember I had 2 home games left.
Senior day was coming.
And senior day was one of those games. And I just thought, you know what? I hate the idea of proposing and her knowing it. So my senior day was coming. I remember I went to Cody's office. It was 2 games before. And I said, hey, you think we could work a proposal into a timeout? And we went over to marketing, who was right down the hall, and we talked to them. And I think it was the first timeout of my senior day. So we had about 2 weeks to get ready. The weekend before, me and the other friends of Blaze at the time made the signs at Legion Field. because we had a locker room there, but we never had access to it. But we took all our supplies, we made the signs, and we left them at Legion Field just so there would be no chance of anybody seeing it. And cheer ran a couple practices where they practiced what they were going to say and lift and timing and everything. And then I called her parents. I was like, hey, this is what we're doing.
He already asked for his hand.
Yeah.
But then he actually told them how he's going to do it.
Yeah. So I told her parents to come up. Parents came up. My mom was there, my Aunt Elaine, my sister, my grandmother. I remember thinking, oh crap, all these people are coming. How are I going to tell her like that? It's just nothing's going on. So I made up something. I remember I was like, all the seniors get their family on the field at a certain point. Take a group photo with Blaze. And she knew I always came out the first half. I did pregame in first quarter. And then Cody said, hey, Seth, like none of these people on the team are remotely your height or build. So we called in Haley Grace. She was a Blaze with me my first year. And I said, hey, do you want to come be Blaze again for a game? So she came early, did bomb sleep, everything. She got in suit. And I remember her going out and doing pregame. And to this day, I regret not one. Every pregame, I would always find her in the stands and wave at her. Well, I forgot to tell Haley that, so she didn't do that. But I remember Haley was doing the first quarter. It was first time out. So I remember we're waiting. Vitek got the ball first. It was quick to third down. I was like, here we go. Then they got a first down. Another third, and I was like, here we go. And they got a first down. And then they got 3 first downs on the first drive. And every one of them was on 3rd and long. And I'm just sitting, I was like, I can't deal with this. Yeah, I think UAB got an interception. So then they started doing the timeout. Cheer started doing their thing. And Kristie, my family, her family were on the field. And she was just looking at Blaze. She's like, I know that's not Seth. And she was like, where's Seth? All of a sudden, cheer starts. They did a cheer.
And they said, Kristie!
And they lifted up. They did a lift.
Said,
and it said Kristie. And it said, Will, you. And then Blaze opened. We had made a big ring box out of like a Lowe's moving box. We cut it in half and put a pillow and some satin in there. We made a ring out of a crochet circle and a big Christmas ornament. And said, Will you marry? And Sawyer said Blaze because he didn't know any better. But Blaze flipped it up, gave it a ring, and I was behind her with my hand down on one knee to get.
I didn't see him at first, so I just walked to Blaze, and I was like, thanks, Blaze. And then I turned around, and there was Seth on his knee.
So when did you know that it wasn't Seth as Blaze?
I had my suspicions whenever we were in the stands and like watching Blaze from afar. But whenever I got on the field and I could see Blaze and like how he walked and stuff, like I just know Seth's walk with him and it wasn't the same. And then I was like, but where's Seth? Like, this is his senior day. Like, he needs to come on.
So it's really funny. All the friends of Blaze, we practice the walk being the same. And to the naked eye,
they are the same.
They are the same.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dating or you're coaching, you notice each difference. Like every year, she can tell you exactly which friend is in suit, just because there's only so many mannerisms you can take out. She knew it wasn't me, but I don't even know when she realized it.
I just thought like they had a change of plans and like you were hurt or something. I'm like, oh, where's Seth? Like, this is his time to shine. Come on. And then they said Kristie, and I'm like, oh no, here it is.
Were you thinking to yourself, not here, Seth? Not here, Seth.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to be good for you, Seth.
We did it in a good way.
It was. I loved it looking back.
What was the wedding like? Full of green and gold spirit?
Yes.
Green and gold spirit.
Green and gold
Blaze was
colors.
there.
Blaze was there.
He partied with us. He had dances.
That's Seth and Kristie Shierling, both proud 2-time alums. Seth earned his degrees from the Collat School of Business, finishing with a BA in Marketing 2018 and his MBA in 2020. Kristie's a 2-time School of Nursing grad, completing her BSN in 2019 and MSN in 2013. And as some of Blaze's best friends, this couple has a great idea of what it means to be a Blazer.
Loyal. That's the best word. You got to love this place. Academically, it's one of the best. It's one of the best educations you're going to be able to get. Ever faithful, ever loyal. You've got to be loyal to this place. And it's where I grew up, and it's where I am now. Loyal is the word that keeps coming up. It's where I grew up. It's where I work.
So while Seth was talking, I quickly looked up because I couldn't remember the correct wording. But the mission of UAB athletics is win championships, graduate with honors, and make a difference. And I really feel like the meaning of being a Blazer is to make a difference, whether that's in athletics, whether it be academics or medical. Obviously, I'm more into the medical side now, being a nurse, and I feel like that really, even though Blaze is a part of athletics, being a Blaze and being a Blazer is about making a difference and making a change, and that can be in any way, whether it's finding positivity, brightening someone's day with being Blaze and being funny and goofy, or just being a nurse and showing up.
That's it for this episode of UAB Green and Told. Want to hear more inspiring stories? Head to alumni.uab.edu/greenandtold or find us on Spotify and the Apple Podcast app. Know someone with a great story? Send your suggestions to greenandtold@uab.edu. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected with the Blazers. Thanks for listening, and as always, go Blazers.